Today is difficult. There's no denying that. Some days stretch longer than others, not in hours, but in weight. Moments that feel like boulders pressing against your chest. Thoughts that scream louder than any noise around you. It's not weakness to admit that today hurts. In fact, there's strength in acknowledging the pain. What matters is what you choose to do with it. When the world seems heavy, it's easy to feel alone. It's easy to believe that no one sees your struggle or understands your silent battles. But let me tell you this, you are not alone in your hardship. Every strong soul has faced a day like this, maybe many days like this, and they kept going. Not because it was easy, not because they had all the answers, but because they believed that tomorrow could be better if they just made it through today. You don't have to fix everything at once. Sometimes, courage is just taking the next step with tears in your eyes. Sometimes, bravery is choosing not to give up, even though everything inside of you is screaming for relief. Today is difficult, but difficulty is a sign that you are alive, that you are still trying, still pushing, still moving. You will be tempted to stop, to give in, to walk away from your purpose because it feels unreachable. But let me ask you, if you stop now, what will you miss? The lesson, the breakthrough, the moment of growth that only pain can bring. Sometimes we must go through the fire, not to be burned, but to be refined. Your future is not built only on your dreams, but on your endurance. It's built on your ability to keep showing up tired, frustrated, hurt, and still say, I'm not done. You owe that much to the version of you that started this journey, to the version that hoped and believed when this pain hadn't arrived yet. You owe it to them not to let today break you. This day will pass, just like others before it. And when it does, you will look back not with shame, but with pride, because you didn't give up, because you faced difficulty and refused to be swallowed by it. Strength is not in never falling. It's in rising again and again and again. So let today be difficult. Let it be messy, but do not let it be the end. The world still needs you. Your story isn't over, not yet. Admitting that today is difficult takes courage. In a world where strength is often mistaken for silence and stoicism, being honest about our pain is a radical act of bravery. We're conditioned to believe that showing struggle is showing weakness, that if we're not smiling or appearing in control, then we're somehow failing. But the truth is, strength isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about facing the reality of your emotions, confronting them without shame, and allowing yourself the space to feel. When you say today is difficult, you're not surrendering to defeat, you're declaring awareness. You are acknowledging the storm inside instead of pretending the sky is clear. That takes a kind of inner power that many people never tap into because they're too afraid of what they might find in their own vulnerability. But vulnerability is not a flaw. It's a doorway to healing. It's where real growth begins. If we never allow ourselves to feel broken, how can we ever truly understand what it means to be whole? So often, people suffer in silence. They bury their struggles deep within because they fear judgment, rejection, or the belief that they must carry their burdens alone. But when you give voice to your pain, you not only lighten your own load, you create a bridge for others to step forward with their truth as well. By speaking your truth, you offer permission for others to do the same. In that shared honesty, we find connection, and in connection, we find strength. There is no shame in saying you're hurting. No shame in saying you're tired, lost, confused, or overwhelmed. These are human experiences, not weaknesses. They are signals that your soul is alive, that you're still in the arena, still fighting through the fog, and that matters. Because as long as you can acknowledge the storm, you still have the power to survive it. The silence that masquerades as strength often leads to deeper despair, but the voice that says, "This is hard, but I'm still here," holds the foundation of resilience. In admitting pain, you also take back control. You are not hiding from it. You are not letting it define you, but you are recognizing its presence. And from recognition comes the ability to respond, to take care of yourself, to ask for help, to pause and breathe, to make the small decisions that lead you out of darkness, step by step. You don't need to wear a mask to prove you're strong. You don't need to pretend everything is okay when it isn't. Real power comes from honesty, from facing yourself as you are, even in your lowest moments. So if today is difficult, say it, own it. Let that truth be the first step towards something better. You are not alone in your struggles. Even when the weight feels like it's crushing your chest, even when the silence around you is louder than any voice offering comfort, know this: countless others have walked through similar darkness. The details may be different, but the emotions, the hurt, the doubt, the exhaustion, those are shared. It's easy to believe your pain is unique, that no one else could possibly understand what you're carrying. But you'd be surprised how many people are quietly fighting their own battles behind smiles and polite greetings. Human suffering may take on many faces, but it has a common language. Behind closed doors, people cry the same tears. They feel the same fears, the same loneliness. Some are grieving, some are lost, some are scared of the future. The world does not often allow us to see each other's pain, but that does not mean it isn't there. And knowing that should not discourage you. It should empower you. It means you are not strange or broken or alone. It means you are human. When we go through pain, one of the cruelest tricks our minds play on us is the belief that we're isolated, that no one cares, that we're invisible. But the truth is that people care more than they show, more than they know how to express. Sometimes they just don't have the right words. Other times they are too caught up in their own pain to reach out. But that does not mean they don't feel, or that they wouldn't understand if given the chance. You are part of something much bigger than your current struggle. You belong to a wide, invisible web of people who are enduring, surviving, and growing through adversity, just like you. When you feel like no one gets it, remember that someone else somewhere is waking up to the same heavy thoughts, facing the same uphill climb, questioning the same doubts. That invisible bond, shared suffering, shared strength, can be a quiet source of hope. Sometimes simply hearing me too is enough to pull someone from the edge. And while you may not have those words from someone today, let this remind you, others have made it through what you're facing. They didn't always feel strong or brave, but they kept going, and so can you. There is solidarity in suffering, even if it's silent. There is connection, even if you can't feel it right now. The weight you carry is real, but so is the strength within you. And you are not the only one who has had to reach deep into that strength to keep going. You are not alone, not in your fear, not in your sadness, not in your fight. There are others who understand, others who have walked through the storm and are waiting for you on the other side. Keep walking. Courage is often misunderstood. People picture it as grand acts, standing in front of crowds, charging into danger, making headlines. But true courage is far quieter. It lives in the moments when no one is watching, when the world offers no applause. Courage is in the small steps we take when everything inside of us wants to stop. It's choosing to get out of bed when your body feels like lead. It's looking in the mirror, wiping away tears, and saying, just one more day. That quiet, relentless commitment to keep moving forward, that is courage in its purest form. We often wait for the feeling of strength to arrive before we act, but real strength is forged in the action itself. You might not feel brave, but taking a single step, even when you're scared, is bravery. One breath, one decision, one tiny move in the direction of hope. That is how we begin to shift even the darkest days. You don't have to fix everything. You don't need to have it all figured out. All you need is to keep showing up for yourself. Some days, progress is invisible. There's no trophy for getting through a hard morning, no medal for calming your racing thoughts. But that effort is no less worthy of praise. In fact, those are the days that define you the most. When you are hurting and you still choose to keep going, those are the moments that reveal your inner fire. That quiet resilience, that refusal to give in even when everything feels like it's falling apart, is something extraordinary. The world may never know the battles you're fighting, but you do. You know how hard it is to keep going. You know what it costs to keep holding on when your heart is heavy, and in that knowledge there is pride, there is honor. Even if no one claps for you, your strength is real, and with every small step forward, you are proving that difficulty does not have the final say. There is no shame in stumbling, no shame in slowing down. What matters is that you don't stop. Each step, no matter how small, is a powerful act of defiance against the pain trying to hold you down. It is your way of saying, I am still here, I am not finished yet. So if today feels hard and the road ahead feels endless, focus only on your next step. Not the whole journey, just the next right move. Drink a glass of water. Take a deep breath. Write one sentence. Speak one kind word, to yourself or to someone else. One action, one moment at a time. That's how the strongest people move forward. Quietly, gently, with relentless courage disguised as ordinary effort. And that's more than enough. Endurance is the thread that holds our dreams together when everything else seems to fall apart. It's the quiet power behind every success story, every breakthrough, every person who dared to keep going long after the excitement faded and the applause stopped. While vision gives us the destination, it is endurance that builds the road to get there, brick by brick, day by day. And what most people don't realize is that our future isn't shaped only in the grand moments of action. It is shaped in the countless quiet decisions we make to continue, especially when everything inside of us wants to quit. There are moments in life when motivation will vanish, passion will waver, doubt will scream louder than hope. In those moments, dreams are not carried by inspiration. They are carried by discipline, commitment, and a deep belief in the purpose that called you to begin in the first place. It's easy to chase a dream when everything is going your way, but the real test comes when the road is uphill, when progress is slow, and when you begin to wonder if you'll ever reach the destination at all. That's where endurance steps in, not with flair, not with noise, but with quiet resolve. It's waking up and choosing to try again, even after yesterday ended in tears. It's staying in the fight when the world gives you every reason to walk away. It's choosing to honor the journey, no matter how long or difficult it becomes, because you know deep down that giving up would mean losing something far more important than temporary comfort. What you build through endurance becomes unshakable. When you push through difficulty, you're not just surviving. You're building character, grit, patience, and resilience. These qualities don't show up overnight. They grow in the shadows beneath the surface during the hard days that no one sees. And eventually, they form the foundation of your future, one that doesn't collapse under pressure because it was forged in it. Think of the people you admire most, not for what they achieved, but for how they stood firm when life tried to break them. Their strength came from endurance, from the choice to keep showing up, from the ability to say, this is hard, but it's not the end. That mindset is not reserved for a special few. It lives inside you, too. You may not feel it every day, but every time you take another step forward, you're proving it's there. Your future doesn't depend on having perfect days. It depends on what you do with the difficult ones. The days when you keep your promise to yourself even when no one is watching. The days when you fall but rise again, bruised but determined. These are the days that truly count. Because while dreams are born in moments of clarity, they are fulfilled by those who endure the storm to bring them to life. Keep going. The future you're building is worth every ounce of strength you're giving now. Pain is often seen as something to escape, something to avoid at all costs. It's uncomfortable, it's heavy, it disrupts our sense of peace and control. But what if we started to look at pain differently? What if instead of seeing it as the enemy, we saw it as a messenger? Pain has a purpose, not to break us, but to shape us. It doesn't always come into our lives to destroy. Sometimes it comes to refine, to strip away what is no longer serving us, and to reveal a stronger, wiser version of who we really are. Think about fire. It can burn, yes, but it can also purify. It can melt away the unnecessary, the brittle, the surface-level distractions, and leave behind something cleaner, tougher, and more real. In the same way, our deepest pains can expose our greatest truths. They force us to look inward, to confront what we've ignored, to discover what truly matters. They peel back the layers of pride, fear, and illusion, until only the core of our spirit remains. Some of the most powerful transformations in life come from moments of struggle. You may not recognize it now, but pain can be a turning point. It can wake you up to your own resilience. It can teach you empathy, patience, and perspective. You start to see others differently, with more kindness, because you've felt the weight they may also carry. You learn to speak gently to yourself, because you've seen what harshness can do to a wounded soul. You grow, not in spite of the pain, but through it. It's important to understand that growth doesn't mean the pain vanishes immediately. Sometimes you will walk through fire for days, weeks, even years. But as you do, you are being reshaped. You are being given the tools to walk stronger, to speak with more purpose, to love with more depth. You begin to realize that survival itself is a kind of success, and endurance is not just a means to an end, it's a badge of transformation. Of course, none of this makes the pain easier while you're in it. There will still be nights when the weight feels unbearable. There will still be questions that don't have answers, but if you can remember even for a moment that this hardship might be carving space for something new within you, it gives the suffering a sense of direction. It gives your heart a reason to keep beating through the ache. You are not being punished, you are being prepared, and what comes from this preparation will be something unshakable. A deeper understanding of yourself, a quiet confidence that doesn't shout but speaks volumes, a foundation that no storm can shake. So let the pain refine you, let it teach you, and know that when the fire passes, you won't be the same, but you will be more. More aware, more grounded, more powerful in ways you can't yet see. Endurance is the thread that holds our dreams together when everything else seems to fall apart. It's the quiet power behind every success story, every breakthrough, every person who dared to keep going long after the excitement faded and the applause stopped. While vision gives us the destination, it is endurance that builds the road to get there, brick by brick, day by day. And what most people don't realize is that our future isn't shaped only in the grand moments of action. It is shaped in the countless quiet decisions we make to continue, especially when everything inside of us wants to quit. There are moments in life when motivation will vanish, passion will waver, doubt will scream louder than hope. In those moments, dreams are not carried by inspiration. They are carried by discipline, commitment, and a deep belief in the purpose that called you to begin in the first place. It's easy to chase a dream when everything is going your way, but the real test comes when the road is uphill, when progress is slow, and when you begin to wonder if you'll ever reach the destination at all. That's where endurance steps in, not with flair, not with noise, but with quiet resolve. It's waking up and choosing to try again, even after yesterday ended in tears. It's staying in the fight when the world gives you every reason to walk away. It's choosing to honor the journey, no matter how long or difficult it becomes, because you know deep down that giving up would mean losing something far more important than temporary comfort. What you build through endurance becomes unshakable. When you push through difficulty, you're not just surviving. You're building character, grit, patience, and resilience. These qualities don't show up overnight. They grow in the shadows beneath the surface during the hard days that no one sees. And eventually, they form the foundation of your future, one that doesn't collapse under pressure because it was forged in it. Think of the people you admire most, not for what they achieved, but for how they stood firm when life tried to break them. Their strength came from endurance, from the choice to keep showing up, from the ability to say, "This is hard, but it's not the end." That mindset is not reserved for a special few. It lives inside you too. You may not feel it every day, but every time you take another step forward, you're proving it's there. Your future doesn't depend on having perfect days. It depends on what you do with the difficult ones. The days when you keep your promise to yourself even when no one is watching. The days when you fall but rise again, bruised but determined. These are the days that truly count. Because while dreams are born in moments of clarity, they are fulfilled by those who endure the storm to bring them to life. Keep going. The future you're building is worth every ounce of strength you're giving now. Even the hardest day will pass. It may not feel like it right now, when the weight of everything seems endless and your heart aches in ways words can't explain. But no pain, no storm, no struggle lasts forever. Life moves, sometimes slowly, sometimes almost unbearably so. But it moves, and with that movement comes change. Even if today feels impossible, even if you can't see beyond the fog of this moment, trust that there will be light again. One of the most dangerous lies we can believe when we're hurting is that this feeling is permanent, that the heaviness will never lift, that the tears will never stop, that our best days are already behind us. But that's not the truth. Emotions are waves. They rise, they crash, and then they recede. No matter how strong the tide feels today, it will eventually settle. It always does. In the middle of pain, it's hard to imagine joy. In the middle of fear, it's hard to believe in peace. But your ability to survive this moment is not about having perfect belief. It's about having just enough faith to keep going, to hold on, to breathe. And in doing so, you allow tomorrow to arrive. You give yourself the chance to experience what comes after the hardship, the healing, the wisdom, the peace. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You don't have to smile through the tears or fake strength you don't feel. But you do have to remember that this is not the end. What you're feeling is valid, but it's not final. This is one chapter, not the whole story, and you are not alone in the writing of it. Many before you have felt broken and still managed to rebuild. Many have felt hopeless and still found meaning on the other side. You will too when the pain passes, and it will. You will emerge with something unshakable, the knowledge that you endured, that you didn't give up. That even when it all felt pointless, you still chose to fight for your tomorrow. That is something no one can take from you. That is the root of real strength. So let this difficult day teach you, shape you, but never convince you to quit. Let it deepen your compassion, sharpen your perspective, and expand your heart. And when you look back on it, not in anger or regret, but with clarity, you'll see how far you've come. You'll realize that the version of you who wanted to give up made the most important choice to stay. And as we close this chapter, let this be the reminder you carry with you today is difficult, yes. But you are greater than today. Your future is still waiting, and the strength you've shown just by making it this far is already proof that you are ready to meet it. Keep walking, you're not done yet.